Well, hi guys. Well, as promised in the last video, I showed you a fuselage that we had redone. And I said I'd show you a picture of what this aircraft looks like, this biplane that I've got. This picture is from about 1960, believe it or not, 61, at an air show. And that's what it looks like. It's a one-off, engineered and built by a Boeing engineer. And pretty neat. Got that Lambert 90 horse 5-cylinder radial on the front. And I already said all the parts and this and that, and I've got the engine on the fuselage and all that. So I won't dwell on that too much, but there you are. So let's get back to a kit box. I have decided for sure that I'm going to rip off the cloth off the vertical, the rudder, maybe the horizontal. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to decide on that after I get the rudder all done and go through the work of that. And I'm going to put airfoils in there like the newer kit foxes have, the 7 and such. And they do have a kit to retrofit the 4, the 5, I think. But everything I can see, everything I've seen on the net and all that, I can build myself. So I've decided to go ahead and do that. I've come up with a game plan, and I'm feeling very confident about it. I had a friend over earlier today that 3D prints, and he does 3D imaging as well. I give him a few different ideas, some parts. We're going to start making some images, and we can start coming up with some of the stuff I'm going to need. Like up on top here, once I change the shape of this a little bit, we'll have a cap on top here. And either I want that 3D printed, or I'll make a mold for a fiberglass piece that will go up there. A lot of guys, even with the new kits, are making these out of foam, sanding them the way they want them, and then they'll put a cover of the gray epoxy on there and then sand it down. It works. It works fine. Then they go ahead and they put the cloth over it and all that. It looks good. It's just a different way of doing it. If I can do it without doing all that, is to get the same result, I mean, that's great, and I'll do that. So, as you can see, I was screwing around here, and the only way I could commit myself to going backwards on this, which I almost hate to do, but I'm going to do it because I think it's going to be for the good of the project, is to make that first slice, which I did. I did her. There you go. That was not easy to do, believe me. You can probably imagine that. But that's the only way I can do it. So I went ahead and made the first slice. I'll have this off by the next video. Probably have some ribs made up too, so you can see some real progress. Now my buddy, I got this airplane from, he had made himself some, I'm going to imagine these are wood, and he put some real spacers in here as gap seals. And those are going to have to come off. And I'm going to imagine that he epoxied those bad boys on, and that's going to be probably the worst of what I'm doing here. But I can get them off. I'll get them off if the wood breaks off and all that. I can always take a 4-inch grinder, and I'll just touch it until I get just to the metal and clean it up, and it'll be fine. It's going to take a little hand work, but nothing's impossible if you're patient enough. Okay? So we'll have that stripped down. I will have the rudder stripped down. And the rudder is going to get, once I get the pieces built on the vertical, then I'm going to go ahead and get the proper pieces in that rudder, the rib pieces and everything. And I'm going to wait until I do get the vertical built so I can take the exact measurements off the back of that vertical for the front of the rudder to get everything just the way it should be. And I don't have to have any guessing at all. And that's okay. It's a work in progress. And after everything is said and done, I think the extra hours spent doing this are going to pay off. I believe that, or I wouldn't do it. Okay? So, of course, you know what I'm talking about. Instead of having just the width of that tube for your vertical, we're going to have airfoil. So it's going to be, of course, wider on both sides, a little bit fatter, but it's going to be a real flying surface instead of just what we have now. So, we'll see how everything goes. I don't see any problems. I'm sure there's going to be, but I don't see any problems right now. Now, since we're sitting in the back here, in the stern, as it were, here's the tail wheel assembly, pretty much stock kit fox. I think that's a mall tail wheel, I believe. I'm not going to be using any of that. So I'm going to take that off. I'll throw that up on the net for sale. If you know anybody that needs that stock setup, that's great. I'll make a fair deal on it. But because I'm going to be building, I'm more than likely building my mains into something like the Acme style or the Monster gear, which is the Stoll gear, which is really what I want. And I want a little taller. I want the stance of the aircraft to be a little bit taller. And in the rear, it will be slightly taller. It will have the spring or the shock and spring loaded suspension, okay? Which is pretty crucial to the kind of stuff that I want to do in this thing, okay? So, as we go along, I'll get this stuff built, I'll get it installed, and it's going to be pretty cool. And once I open this up, I'm going to make sure that this particular down tube here on both sides, that cloth is glued really good to that, because I'm going to have to cut this and take all this out of here as well, because there's ribs that go in here as well, okay? I want this good and secure, of course, because I don't want to have to tighten up or mess around with any of the cloth here, because this is just the way it should be, okay? And I think that's going to be a no-brainer once I get this glued just a little bit better, okay? So I'll get that done here and accomplished, and then I'll start building ribs and pieces and places, and I'll be making videos of all that stuff and sharing all that with you, okay? So I think that's it for now, and this is episode, I believe, 6 of, there you go, Friendship Fox. Okay, good enough. All right, guys, have a good night. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.